After months of being scared to try sourdough, I finally did it. This is a story of how I made my first sourdough loaf from scratch, step by step, and everything I learned along the way. My starter took me 8 days until it was ready to use. And here you can see that I was doing the floating test to see if my starter was active to start baking with. It was definitely really exciting to see that my dough actually floated and it was ready for me to start using it. Um, so yeah, I was totally expecting for like to take up to 10 days, even 15, because I watched so many videos about it and how so many people went to 10, 15, even 20 days and their starter was not ready yet. Once my starter was ready, I mixed 500 grams of flour. I used all purpose flour unleashed, and then 350 grams of water, 100 grams of the starter, a peak, and 10 grams of salt. Right here, you can see I made the rookie mistake of mixing everything together. You're supposed to mix the water and the starter first and kind of whisk it until it looks like milk and with a little foam on top. And then after that, you add the flour and the salt and then you start mixing. But again, I did it obviously the wrong way. I think I cracked under the pressure that I was actually, trying to make sourdough for the first time. So it's like I blanked completely that I was supposed to mix the starter and the water first. Then after I had all the ingredients there, I got my whisking tool that came with my sourdough kit and kind of mixed everything together like I'm doing it there. And yeah, I whisk until my dough look really shaggy. And once the dough fell off the whisk, that's how I knew that my dough was ready to stop mixing. You will see that when you're mixing, the dough no longer sticks to the tool, it like falls off. So that's when I knew when to stop. Then after I was done mixing, I just grabbed a cover and I let it sit there for 1 hour. After the hour passed, it was time for the stretch and fold. I did stretch and fold every 30 minutes for 4 rounds. This is when the dough starts to feel alive and elastic. It's so calming. And this step, I gotta say, is my favorite step of the whole process. By round 4 of stretch and fold, you can really see how your dough has transformed. It's a lot smoother. And every time you do a stretch, it's like a little harder every time. And I believe that's normal. After the last stretch and fold, I let bulk ferment at room temperature for 4 hours. And then after those 4 hours, I flour my Benetton, my countertop, so I could shape my bread. And this is how my dough looked after the bulk ferment. It was jiggly, it did grow. Um, when I tried to drop it though, I know that they said it should come off completely like clean on its own. Mine didn't. It was not like really sticking to my bowl, but as you can see, it took a lot of shakes and a little help from me, so it will fall completely off the bowl. I lightly flour the top of my dough just so it will be easier for me to work with it. I've seen a lot of videos that a lot of people don't do that. Anyway, so it was time for shaping. Shaping was definitely the most challenging part for me at first. Uh, but then I really liked it. I think that's one of my favorite steps of the whole process as well. Um, but yeah, it definitely uh, that's part of the learning curve. I feel I have gotten better since my first loaf, but as you can see, I kind of stretched the dough into a rectangle, then fold one half and then fold the other half, and then just roll it into one whole ball. And then I just did push and pull until my dough formed into a ball. The shaping process, like I said, is a learning curve. As you could see at the beginning, when I was pushing and pulling, you could see my hands are a little awkward at it, but then I keep getting better as I'm doing it. My shape was not perfect, obviously, as you can see there, but I had a lot of fun. When I felt that my shape was how I wanted or how it was supposed to be, I was ready to put into the Venetine. I did help myself with the scraper the sourdough kit came with, and I just flipped it in there. I covered with the cover that it came with the whole kit, and my dough was ready for overnight cool proofing. Okay, the following day, which was a morning for me, I got it out. It was probably on the fridge for between 8 to 12 hours. I think I did the 12 hours, and this is how it looked after I got it out. Then it was time for the scoring. I was actually really excited to do this, but then once I got there, it was like a moment of truth. Scoring was terrifying for me because I've seen all these, aesthetic videos of how the scoring looks so perfect and so clean. And it was not that for me, like at all, as you can see there. After my not so aesthetic scoring, it was time to bake. My oven was already preheated with a Dutch oven in it for 30 minutes. Then I placed my loaf in there, put the lid on, and I baked for my first loaf. I did 25 minutes with the lid on. After the 25 minutes, I got it out of the oven. I opened the lid and oh my god, like I literally gasped of how good actually my loaf was looking. Then I put it back in the oven with lid off for another 25 minutes. Since my first loaf, I adjusted my timing a little bit, but this is what I did for my first one. Then it was time for the grand reveal. I was so proud of myself for my first loaf to look like that. Honestly, I was expecting for my first loaf to be a failed. It was not. It kind of like messed it up for me because after my first loaf, I had a couple of fails. So, yeah, I was incredibly happy and excited for this new sourdough journey. So my first love got me obsessed with sourdough, and I haven't stopped making loaves since then. Then I place my loaf in a cooling rack. And the hardest part right here was to wait for a whole hour for the loaf to cool off. So, so we could cut it open. Hardest part of the process, by the way. After an hour passed and it was time to cut it, I'm gonna leave you the ASMR of the crunchy and the cutting and all that. I want to eat it. She's not perfect, but I am so proud of how it came out. If you're starting your sourdough journey, keep going. Thank you for baking with me. Let me know if you want the full recipe or a brioche or dinner roll tutorial next. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more cozy baking and more sourdough.